If you're sailing on the Disney Magic out of the Port of Galveston, here's everything you need to know about embarking the ship. The first thing you want to do is when you're packing, make sure you have your port arrival form and your passport or birth certificates in the bag you are going to take on with you. You also cannot check alcohol or bottles of water. So the first step when you're looking at the terminal building, all the way on the far right side, is where you're going to drop off your luggage. If you don't have luggage tags, the porters will get them for you. Keep in mind that these porters are working for tips, so be sure to have some cash on hand to tip if you need assistance. Then you're going to start walking down toward the other end of the building, and there's a big sign that says check-in and entrance. It's white, and there's also some blue and gold Disney signs as well. At this point, they're going to ask to see your port arrival form to see what your port arrival time is. If you arrive later, this is about 12:30. They were letting everybody in. If you're earlier, they're going to have you queue up by port arrival time to let you into the building. I'm going to recommend that you not come earlier than you need to, or you're just going to be stuck outside. Once you walk into the terminal, there is a bathroom right inside the door, and then you're going to queue up for security. At this point, just make sure you've got all of your things organized and ready to go through the scanner. This is when they're also going to verify that you're not bringing on more alcohol than is allowed per person. You are going to get your port arrival form scanned right here before you go through the scanners, so never put that form away. They are going to ask for it many times. You do not need documentation, just your port arrival form. This is also when they're going to catch any of your prohibited items that you're not to bring on board. There is a list that Disney should have emailed you in case you're curious what is and is not allowed. Specifically, this is like chargers, steamers, irons, things that are on the prohibited list. Once you go through security, it's a little bit of a walk down a hallway, and then this is where they're going to do the actual check-in. You're going to see a line for concierge, for first-time cruisers, and for Castaway Club members. Just in case they don't actually verify that with you, make sure you're getting in the right line, because it will move a little faster if you've got Castaway Club status. This is when you need your port arrival form and your documentation. Also, they're going to ask you if you have a Disney Band Plus, and they can answer any of your questions, but this is the actual check-in process. They will also verify that you did your mandatory health questionnaire, and if you didn't, they will help you at this point. You're going to walk around to the backside of this check-in area. There's an assisted check-in if you need some additional help, and then you are going to head up the escalator or the elevator. If you have luggage, they're pretty particular about you taking the elevator, so just be prepared. You may need to wait if you're bringing a lot of luggage on with you. And then you just head up the escalator. Once you get to the top, this is when they're going to call your boarding numbers. So for many, if you're coming a little later in the day, your boarding group may have already been called. When I came up, they were letting all groups board. And the woman that's standing here with the sign, it says now boarding all groups. There is a huge waiting area and vending machines and bathrooms. There are some photo opportunities on your own. And then as you walk on the ship, you can get professional photos taken as well. Once you've done that process, then you're going to walk on the ship. So here's the time where you get to see the ship, and you're going to walk on the gangway. In case you're wondering what happens with your luggage when you check it, they load it onto these carts after they've scanned it, and then they go ahead and put it on the ship and get it to your stateroom. Once you get to the end of the gangway, this is the last time they're going to scan your port arrival form. So really, you got to make sure you've got it handy. This is also when they're going to ask your family name, and they will announce you. These are my parents getting on board. There's often characters up on the 4th floor. So if you are trying to get some character pictures, I'd highly recommend checking out deck 4 and see if anybody's up there. It's a great time to get a picture with short lines. And then your rooms will be ready about 1:30. So go eat lunch, either sit down in one of the restaurants or up in cabanas. And then don't forget to attend the mandatory muster drill.